Okay, folks, this is Babbaginator. We're currently hanging out in. I think we're still in. We're in Coastal Hunt, Desolation Point. We're getting ready to leave. Quick pop out, see where we're at. Okay, so this is Desolation Point. That's 16 coal, plenty of coal. Okay, let's grab our stuff and head over to. Okay, so there we go. Welcome in, folks. Good to see you all. Been gone for, it feels like a while, actually. So I've been busy. This week is midterms. Well, I don't have exams. I do have essays that were due all week long. Apparently everyone wanted their essays in beforehand, so, because it's Canadian Thanksgiving on Monday, and so that means that I'll probably get a chance to stream on Monday as well. Maybe I'll get a chance to stream on Sunday as well, tomorrow as well. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. I don't know how long I'll be able to stream tonight because I do have one more presentation project to work on. So I have to finish the research for that. Send it off tonight. We'll see. But yeah, I've been going through withdrawals. I haven't streamed for such a long time. I mean, it's a week, but it just feels like a long time. So I figured I'd at least come on tonight. And hopefully tomorrow night, and maybe even Monday. Not in love with storms like this, but it does give us a chance. So our biggest problem is that we have no bedroll, so there's no way to sleep in any of these places. The best I can do is camp out somewhere and then move like crazy.
This will come in handy.
Okay, well, we can cook the meats. Okay. Trying to remember if we updated the challenge. Okay, let's get the challenge up here in case you're curious.
Damn it. So hungry.
What happened? Why do we have stink on us? Just onto us? Or did he come in earlier when he smoked me? Okay, we're trying to make it through here. Best we can. Keep the fire out. Lots of stuff we could get to, but we're not going to get to. So what we got in here? Hey, Fairview 2. Hope you're doing well. I'm back after several days off, busy doing stuff I Essays.
I'll take it.
Basically what I've been doing. Essays for classes. Because it's midterm season in my master's. And what they do is they have this. Okay. Wow. We got crafty stuff. Yeah, so I'm popping on tonight because I haven't had a chance to stream in like almost a week. Going through withdrawals.
I wonder if I can drop any of this.
How are we doing matches wise? We've got other matches left. Okay. I really need to find that bedroll. Otherwise, it's march all the way to Kwanzaa. Oh, for those of you new, I am Babbagenator. I'm streamed Long Dark, and I am coming to you live from Vancouver, BC, where I am currently in the middle of a Master's of Library and Information Science, i.e. the degree that you take to become a professional librarian, or someone that works with digital assets, or someone that gets involved with information behavior studies, or digital scholarship and digital humanities work. I'm more in the digital scholarship, digital humanities side.
Man, this pack is getting kind of heavy.
But prior to that, I did a PhD in literature and creative writing, and prior to that, an MFA in creative writing, and prior to that, I worked 5 years as a computer games programmer because I had an undergraduate in computer science. Which just goes to show you never know what you'll end up doing. Okay, do we feel lucky? Where is the bear? So I got on tonight a little bit late because I was hosting a dinner party at my place, trying to resurrect an old thing that I used to do when I was in Los Angeles called Poetry Potluck, where I invite an assortment of random people who are interested in poetry and want to bring a dish, bring a poem, hang out for an hour or two, eat food, talk about literature, art, culture, make book recommendations, and then wrap up the evening by reading poems. So we did that, but yeah, it was a little bit tricky since we had number of cancellations last minute due to people having other plans for the Thanksgiving weekend that sprung on them unexpectedly. Or one person got sick, decided to be safe and stay home. I appreciate it. And another person adopted kittens and had to be there for the kitten arrival. All perfectly valid. So yeah, there were like 2 guests. And my roommate and I. So we started at 6, finished at 2. Finished at 8. About 2 hours. Bear is crossing the ice. Glad we didn't go to the island. I really want to get to the ones that dump all this stuff. Hopefully find the bedroll there. Maybe the hammers, yeah. So we're only like 6 days into this challenge, so we're got a long ways to go. I don't know if there is an end date on this. Like some of my challenges have like a set time, like have to do this within 50 days. Others are must visit every region. This one, we just kind of, I think we have to visit every region. We just are doing it in a random order. Like our last destination, what was our last destination's going to be here? We got, oh, did we not write it down? I think it was it Black Rock? Did we get really unlucky? We didn't write it down. I don't know what our destination is anymore. I thought it was something unpleasant with Black Rock. Yeah, we must be pretty close to the Quonset. Yeah, let's do all the looting in the morning. I just want to get inside.
I'm not sure I can carry much more. Well, this stuff will come in handy.
No, too heavy. Can't afford to take that with us. Another one.
I think I can use this.
We don't have a pot, so we can't make any porridge yet. That's kind of a problem.
Come on, little fire. Perfect.
Okay, let's see what we can do here. Nighttime, we've eaten. Okay, let's see, what can we read?
God, I'd eat anything right about now. I could eat anything right now.
Let's see if we can organize this 89, 65, 89. Okay, let's see where we can go from here. quickly search the area.
Oh, so cold. Wonder if I can drop any of this gear. Wait, something.
Oh, timing matches.
Man, this bag is getting kind of heavy. Thank you.
Hey, sleep here. So we've been on for around half an hour. I think the most we'll do is an hour and a half tonight. Ooh, tired. Ah, so I was just thinking it would be nice to have a sewing kit. We're gonna strike out. 3 strikes. No clothing.
I'm not sure I can carry much more. Jesus, it's cold. Too cold to think. I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Okay, let's see. Getting sleepy. I don't know if I'm gonna make it very long. This may be a pretty short stream. Might make it to the hour mark and then that's it. I do have to devote some time to research for my last project that I prepared.
pack is getting kind of heavy. I'm not sure I can carry much more.
I guess we could go out to the islands. Oh, we need to check these guys.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
With the bear?
This pack is getting kind of heavy. I'm not sure I can carry much more.
The bear is around somewhere.
Come on, little fire. Come on. I'm gonna have to hurry. Find herself a bed soon. Bear went that way. We're gonna go up this way then.
So yeah, tonight I made, for our potluck, I made sweet potato curry and rice. It was a big hit. I had other dishes I could have made to supplement it, but our numbers were pretty small and everyone was pretty full, so I didn't have to
I can't feel my feet.
pull out the other tricks of the trade. Oh, I think I forgot to check the plane crash above the ones that up the hill. Yeah. Do that next time we're through.
I need to find some place to escape this cold. Did I say I hate being cold? Because I really do.
Yeah, the real question is, am I going to have enough energy to make it another half an hour, or should we just wrap it up early? 1 hour in. At least at the very least, we know that there's a bed up here. Let's go and sleep tonight.
needs this anymore.
Alright, everything's covered. We're still cold. Yeah, I need to stop throwing things because I'm tired. Okay, let's okay.
I've never felt so cold in my life.
Tired. Focus. Okay, let's try to make it to the last trailer. Ooh. Ooh, boy. Uh-oh. Getting really sleepy. Okay, we're gonna probably wrap up here soon. Let's see if the hammer's here. Nope, not even hammer. Hey Rena, how's it going? I have been swamped with school stuff this week. Been kind of a nightmare. I had 3 essays that I wrote in the span of about 4
One little
days.
fire.
Not particularly long, but it's still tedious. And then I have another thing to work on this weekend.
Perfect.
To work on either tonight or tomorrow morning. We'll see. Monday's a holiday. Wednesdays are presentation. So we've got to take our notes this weekend, turn them into a presentation, and then be happy with it by then. Hosted my first poetry potluck here in Vancouver tonight, but since it was all graduate students, pretty much, it was prone to all the problems that happen with grad school. So, we originally were expecting 5 guests, plus ourselves, everybody and I, and what we got were 1 cancellation due to the person and their partner adopting kittens, and the kittens arriving today. 1 person getting sick with probably COVID, so they excused themselves. Another person was roped into some unexpected Thanksgiving plans, so was traveling today. So suddenly dropped 3 people. And the hope, whenever I do these, is that I'm bringing together people that don't know each other. Except for this time, what was left was my roommate and I, and a guest and their guest. So, yeah. So, we got to know each other a little bit, but it wasn't nearly as fun as, well, it was still
Wonder if I
fun.
can drop any of this gear.
Nearly as, I don't know, sometimes with the right mix of people, those conversations go on and on and on, and everyone's having a great time. We had good conversation, but it was also clear that we needed someone else. One more person would have been enough to make the conversation work. Because, like, my roommate and I have been together now for a few months already, so we've gotten to know each other pretty well, and the other 2 were partners, so they've been dating for a while, and they know each other pretty well. So that means conversation tends not to go to things that you already know. And so instead with the person you already know, so you would then direct them to the other people. But yeah, you just have lower randomness, no, not randomness, but lower variety. Okay. Oh, nice. Very nice. Oh, wow, wow. So, that's kind of wild. My boss goes on maternity leave at the end of this coming week.
I could
and
eat
then
a
is
horse.
gone basically for
That's
10
saying a
months.
lot because I love horses.
And I still don't know who the new person is that I'll be working with. There's a fair bit of autonomy. Yeah, they're giving me a lot of room to work, but
I'm
yeah,
starving.
so I now report directly to the director of the initiative, and then also touch base with the postdoc. And then whoever is the new person will probably start in January. So like the next couple months, yeah, might be a little bit quiet. I'm also in the process trying to evaluate what I'm doing next. In theory, next term will be my final term. I should finish all my coursework. But it's come up that the timing might not be great. If the university wants to find a way to hire me on a longer term basis, it might. I'm toying with the idea that since my student loan funding is technically all the way through until the end of August, that means that unless I end early, I'm already authorized to have student loan money coming in. So I could delay graduation. I could take one class in the summer and wrap up at the end of summer. The graduation ceremony would probably be in November, but if I move my finish date to August instead of April, then 6 months, which is kind of the window of my postgraduate employment, the clock starts later, and it buys them more time to figure out how to hire me permanently. So I don't know. I'll have to weigh that. I have to think about it this week and bring that up as one solution. Is not ruling out looking for work elsewhere, but it is, here my odds getting a job would be very good if there is a job, right? Yeah. Housing wise, I actually really like this apartment and I really like my roommate. So I think it would be nice to keep both. But the sooner I get to a full-time permanent position, the sooner I can move all my things from Saskatchewan into a unit and be fully settled in one place. And my mother's talking about the possibility of, she's interested in, if I do get a permanent role somewhere, that she would like to sell the house in Saskatchewan and move to wherever I'm going, either to pool our resources and get a condo or to rent together like an apartment. Because if it is Vancouver, it's just going to be really pricey. So, I mean, there is some advantage to that, but there's also the fact that I do like my independence, and it is a little bit, I mean, in Saskatchewan, there's not much for me to do. So I don't mind. Here, I think, yeah, I don't know, be a little bit different. That's my concern, is that public transit is fine here. It's actually pretty good. But my concern is that she's not where she would want to live. I think might be too far out for me. What she can afford, I think, would be to take her back to Abbotsford or Langley, somewhere further out. But that would be totally impractical for me for work. Although most of my work is remote, I think I do like working on campus. Or how can I put this? I like having close proximity to campus. I'm 40 minutes away by bus, and that gives me the opportunities to do things on campus, to meet faculty on campus in person if I want to collaborate in different ways in person if I want to, you know. And I like having access to downtown. I like having, like, the location I'm at is really quite wonderful, and I just really am hesitant to give it up. But it's also completely impractical in terms of, like, if I stay here, there's no room for all my books.
I gotta eat soon.
And I don't know. I don't know what my mother would do. Like, would she pick up another job at Costco? Would we have to move to Richmond? Books need a home. Yeah, they do. Yeah. I mean, there's history here. She knows a lot of historically. You know, this is the congregation that my parents attended, both when I was born here and then later when my father was a student here. So, but most of those people are gone, right? Like it's not like there's people that she can hang out with. Like very few of those people are still around. So, you know, so on one hand, there's like, yeah, there's nostalgia value to being here. But so much about the area has completely changed. You know. So I don't know what she would do, honestly. I really don't know. And that's something that I would be concerned about. I would want her to feel connected to others. I worry that leaving Saskatchewan, even though we all hate the weather there, will pull her out of like a comfortable life in the sense that she has good friends that she can socialize with, and she has a job that she could spend 2 or 3 days a week at. Yeah, so I worry that she's going to find herself bored really quickly. We don't really have a good plan here. It's a bad idea.
Wait. It's so cold. I'm warming up a bit.
Yeah. It's just cost of living has gone up so much here that it really does like restrict who can afford to be here. You know, most people can't afford to be here. So I worry that's what's going to happen is we'll, you know, I don't want her to feel like, oh, hello, buddy. Nothing. Yeah. I know it's key that she has stuff to do and people to hang out with beyond me, right? Yeah, and that becomes something of an albatross, right? Like, she's got the house in Saskatchewan is like, it's a house. It's not terrible. You know, after the flood, all the basement renovations, it looks pretty nice downstairs. But it still has the fundamental problems that it always had. You know, the kitchen's too small, the cabinets are insufficient. The basement is cold. At least it's dry, but it's cold. The driveway is gigantic. In the wintertime, it's just a real pain to deal with. What are we doing, buddies? 34 sticks. 21 matches. I'm not feeling very confident about this run, honestly, because we can't seem to find our bedroll.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Or a hammer. Yeah, so the shoveling of the snow, I mean, she doesn't want to keep on doing that. That's one of the reasons why she's interested in possibly moving into a condo. Condo prices are ridiculous. Yeah. I don't know. If it's on the SkyTrain, like if it's on the train route, then I would consider it. But I don't want to have to ride long bus rides into campus beyond, like 40 minutes is already plenty. It's not bad, I get to read, but it's not great. There's supposed to eventually be a train that goes all the way to campus, but they've been delayed multiple times because some neighborhoods do not want to give up their parkland. It's not even like natural preserve park, it's just like dog park or something, I don't know. You're saving for new flooring for four rooms. Wow, that's just, yeah, that adds up. Yeah, it's not in their backyard, right? That's what they want. Not here. But it's like, it would make so much sense. It would solve so much traffic problems if we could just get the train to go through. Yeah. Ooh, there's nothing here. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, I guess the sleepiness is temporarily past. There was like a moment where I was like, I'm not gonna make it. That's definitely planning ahead, yeah. Oh, I had a wild experience this week. So I've been working on a research project for one of my professional experience class, which is basically I'm working with one of the librarians at the university conducting a research project that will help them make some decisions and next steps for collection development. Really what this is about is like we want to understand better how faculty and graduates are using speculative fiction in their teaching and research. To identify, you know, what type of resources, databases, or books do we need to add to the collection, and if there are any existing challenges that might hinder, you know, people using the existing systems for putting requests in or for providing material, you know,
Starting to feel
sharing material legally as opposed to illegally sharing PDFs that they don't have authorization for. So it's less about like chastising them and just basically getting a lay of the land, figure out how it all works. So I've had these wonderful little conversations with faculty. So far too, I have some more coming up this week. I had this conversation with this one guy who's an associate professor in medieval literature and also has apparently consulted on computer games as well. So we kind of talked a little bit about that. But yeah, so here I am having this conversation with the guy, and he casually mentioned that he is 52. And I remember looking at him in the Zoom window thinking, he looks like the type of 52 that TV imagines 52 to look like. and then I thought about the fact, and I'm basically the same age. I'm almost the same age. And I don't. That's so weird. It's so weird that both are true representations of age, and yet can be completely different. You know, he's
if I don't
full head of white hair, you know. It's just weird. Yeah, most people have no idea how old I am. It's only in the course of conversations that if I drop enough clues, they start to like figure out that I've been around for a long time. Like how old are you really? It's like, how's that possible? It's like, yeah. Yep. Well, I always tell people I'm part Chinese, part vampire, and see what they do with that. Ooh, we got more scammers, spammers. Block. Go away. Yeah. I am having my, I feel like it's every 3 or every 5 years, season of unexpected loneliness, where like I think about like, oops. Yeah, it just strikes me as like, this is where I am right now in my life. And then probably in about 6 months I will stop thinking about it.
And this pack is getting kind of heavy.
Yeah. There's a bear. Let the bear do the bear thing. And crouch down. Drink some water. Yeah, so I think it's one of the reasons why, like, trying to navigate. Well, I think one of the things that comes up when I'm like in this mood is I'm thinking about how I don't know how to describe it exactly. It's type of, I don't know. I feel like I was telling my roommate, it's like I feel like a ghost sometimes because I feel like I'm passing through spaces.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
And people can't tell what I am, who I am. I don't feel like I'm completely visible. Yeah. Astrid is freezing, but not completely frozen.
Gotta warm up somehow.
Yeah, so there's a kind of a sense of being a ghost when you're traveling through these spaces. Like I don't know. Short of running these like poetry potlucks, I don't always know how I'm supposed to socialize. How I'm supposed to meet people. It's like the people my age, I have next to nothing in common with. You know, they're often, you know, they're either like empty nesters, like their kids have left home, or they are, okay, we're giving up on this one. Not like that. Either the empty nesters or they're like grandparents. It's like, that's wild. They are settled into their careers. They're thinking about retirement. And, you know, I have none of those experiences that I can connect with. If they're single, they're navigating divorce, the aftermath of divorce or widowhood. And that's very different, you know. Frequently they're looking for some sort of stability and some sort of like, they're looking for a partner who is at a stable place in their life. And my life is in flux, you know. So and my financial situation is in flux as well, right? Because I'm, you know, finishing up the degree and then who knows where I'm going to be next. I would like to think that I have something stable coming, but I don't know for certain. Everyone assures me that my skill set and experience should make me easy to hire, but there's no guarantees. And then, you know, on some level I get along well with people who are, well, a lot of levels I get along well with people who are younger than me. But then, like, you know, things can feel weird if it's too big of an age gap, so. I'm like more than double my roommate's age. Do we have any food at all? No. We have oats that we can't cook. We have a box of crackers that we could eat, and that would bring us up. We could drink a coffee. But yeah, we're kind of in trouble right now. Oh, you know what we have? We have the, hold on a second here. We've got 26 pieces of cloth. Okay, we should probably do something with that. We do have, where are they? Okay, we can prepare these. Don't eat the cloth, yeah. So yeah, I feel like that's what it is. It's like it's my ghost period where I feel like I am passing through the world and I'm never fully part of any part of the world. I don't always feel seen. I don't always feel like I belong. No one is pushing me out. I just don't feel like I'm connecting, I think is what it is. I connect to a certain degree, but then always I feel like I'm not fully there. So that my peers, this is the other disconnect, my peers in terms of experience, in terms of lived, like in terms of lives, this is terrible, how many times am I going to fail, are often my professors and not my classmates. So what do you do with that? Regrettably, we're going to eat the crackers, I think, because it's too windy to cook the... I wish I could eat the cloth. Make life a little bit easier. Yep.
I could eat anything.
Yeah, I think there's a part of me that's like not ready to resign myself to being like living on my own forever, right? And there's another part of me that feels like the deck is very stacked against me in terms of making that work. Yeah. Yeah.
Where can I find something to eat?
Yeah. So like I said, like I think it happens every 3 years I go through this. And then like and sometimes it turns into a lot of poetry writing, right? So who knows? Maybe this is the momentum, this is the impetus for me to actually get back to writing poetry. You know, the work on the opera is wrapping up soon. I think my next biggest job to work on for the opera is really just to reformat the whole thing so it's consistent and legible for the producer and for other parts of the team that have not seen the current iteration of the opera. So that's like my biggest task there. So like in terms of creative work, I'm like winding down in terms of that project. And so, yeah, I think maybe it is time for me to get back to writing poetry. There's a part of me that always goes through this nervousness because it feels like it's been such a long time since I've written, and it has been a while. And I want to write well, but I also have to give myself permission not to write well for a while until I can figure out how to do it again. So. Anything else I could do here? Yeah, exactly. It is a bit like that. Not really, but a little bit. 42 sticks. We've got too many of these. Let's see where we're at here. We got a long ways to go. We're almost on fire starting 1. We haven't made any other progress. Yeah, I mean, I guess part of it too is feeling a disconnect with like the church singles in my age group. I've really got, they're nice people. I just have next to nothing in common with them. My own classmates, you know, are lovely people, and also, you know, other than running D&D games with them, you know, having fun with them that way, and having some good conversations about other stuff. I just don't always feel like I guess that's the problem, is there's no one that I feel like is a hangout partner, someone that I can just like go and do stuff with. My roommate's the closest, right? And yeah. But my roommate has discovered that in their program, their program is surprisingly socially active right now. It's the first year of their labs, 2 different lab groups moving to UBC, and so the people in charge of labs are life partners, and so like these 2 groups are going to be associating with each other a lot, and so this first year, I swear, they're just like doing so many social activities. Yeah, so I think like I am sometimes pleasantly surprised when I have like a strong connection with someone, regardless of age, right? I really take delight in having like friends who think deeply and um, you know, enjoy a lot of the same things that I enjoy, um, even if we're like 20, 25 years apart. You know, that's kind of cool. Yeah, but it's also kind of weird. Okay, we made it through the night, even though we have nothing left food-wise. We almost have nothing left.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Good beach coming. High school orchestra D&D comp sci nature mix. See? Yeah. Like they exist. They exist out there. And you like think, you know, this person would be awesome if they were 20 years older. Like they're really cool right now on one level, but they would be really awesome in a different way on another level if they were just a lot older. Then you could do like different things with them. But. Okay, let's be honest. Our little torch is not going to work here.
My fingers feel numb.
Okay, my vote is for... Looking out in here for a little bit.
It's so cold. I just want to lay down for a bit.
Yeah, I wish we could. We don't have... All the siblings go to the same dojo. I told the parents... Oh, that you went to. It's supposed to be... Yeah, it's just like, I feel like I was born into the wrong generation. I feel like so much of my... Or I don't know, it's like I say, I think like vampire is a good way to think about myself. In not necessarily like a vampire way, but kind of like an immortal way, where you maintain a certain appearance far longer than everyone else. And you can chameleon yourself into a lot of different settings.
One little fire.
And yet there's a part of you that always feels
Damn it.
distant. Always feels like you don't belong. Because you actually belong to a different time. And then you try to turn it off and like just blend into the situation you're in.
Come on, little fire.
But it's just, yeah, there's just like something that doesn't quite connect.
Are you serious?
So like, should I have been born, you know, in the 19th century? Should I have been born, you know, should I have been born, in the 90s
One little
instead?
fire.
Would that have been a better fit for me?
Come on.
I don't know. I just feel like there are definitely a lot of things that I would have missed out on. I do feel like on some level I am in the right time, but the consequence is that I will also feel like I'm in the wrong time. Whereas my roommate feels like they are...
Come on, little
We were
fire.
talking about this the other night, and I think they feel... They, despite,
Oh, lucky day.
being much younger, musically, their tastes are all 1980s music. You know more of the words than I do. And their interest is definitely what they want to read, study, talk about outside of the field that they're actually in. So they're in the sciences, but they actually care about philosophy, and they care about like deep existential questions and sort of the broader world that we live in. Interconnections, interdisciplinary interests, And so I feel like that they're definitely in a completely, they're also out of time. But kind of like a time travel, where like they are the age they are. They just happen to have traveled from the they traveled from the 1980s and showed up here. Whereas I've been around, it feels like sometimes since the 19th century. Like, I think I would have enjoyed actually meeting and getting to know Charles Babbage, right? And I would have enjoyed these type of salons where people came from across all different fields and disciplines and had these great conversations. I think, and like literature and arts, the lines between sciences and humanities were not as deep and as rigid. And so I feel like that's the kind of the world that would have worked for me. And instead, I'm, working to try to break down those barriers and to create more, like, opportunities for, like, my university struggles with this a lot, in the sense that a lot of the departments are really siloed. They're very, very, like, unwilling to have conversations or do collaborations with other departments. They don't share information very well. They don't want to think of themselves as part of this larger ecosystem of knowledge, and instead are very protective. And so it's not good for the students. It's not good for larger education to be this rigid. And instead, they really need more water. Yeah. So I feel like that's part of it too. I don't know. Rambling. Old man rambling. Oh, I had this really random conversation on the bus the other day. I was on the bus, and these two young undergraduates sat down like really close to me on the bus, and they were in the middle of this very like lively conversation where it was very clear that the guy was trying to impress the girl. And so it was wide-ranging, lots of references. He was trying to ask interesting questions, but at the same time, they were just jumping from point to point, topic to topic. There was no deeper, like there was a gesture towards a deeper conversation, but he would just move on to the next question, which would now suddenly be in a different, totally different thing. So it was just like no art of conversation to what he was doing, but there was almost an art to it, but not really. So anyways, listening to him go on and like conversation, and she was kind of in a similar fashion, kind of bouncing back and forth between these different topics. But I'm listening to them go on, and she happens to drop the fact that she was in IB, an International Baccalaureate in high school. And my ears kind of perk up. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. There's another IB person here. I didn't say anything though. I kind of bit my tongue and just kind of listened, eavesdropped on the conversation. And then he makes a comment about he's struggling to remember the title of a particular short story, a magical real short story he wants to reference in his discussion. And he's struggling with it, and he can't remember, he thinks it's Borges. I said, and so I kind of, at that point, I was like, okay, I probably should step in. Maybe I'll help him out here. It says, were you thinking of the Garden of Forking Paths, or were you thinking of Labyrinths? And, or were you perhaps thinking of Gabriel Garcia Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude? And so they kind of like stopped, and then we ended up having this conversation. I said, I apologize for interjecting, but I also overheard the fact that you were an IB, and I was also an IB many years ago. And then this third person, this other, this older female student was on the bus as well, probably a graduate student. And she kind of piped up, and she's like, yeah, I'm also a former IB student. And so we ended up having this interesting conversation about International Baccalaureate and about literature. And they heard that my PhD was in 19th century artificial intelligence. So he suddenly launched into a bunch of different questions about that. Yeah, I think it's a TikTok problem. I think like to have deep conversations like this is what old, like the blogging in the 1990s and 2000s. Like I'd say 2000s were kind of the best period for like literary or deep thinking blogging, like these deep dives into things. And we haven't really gone back to that. Yeah, live journal, yeah. But I think like that's definitely a loss, is that long form. Like I have a friend of mine who used to do Twitch. He does mostly YouTube right now. He does long form video essay, and it's kind of a lost art, and he's very good, but most of his videos are 45 minutes to an hour in length. They're long form. They're truly long form, and you have to be committed to get through them. They're very good, very well cut together, but yeah. But yeah, it did kind of make me think about like the art of conversation. You know, how difficult it is for a lot of people to carry on a deep, meaningful conversation. Why? Did it wash ashore standing up? What's going on here? Yeah, I think so. So I think like part of my pushback against against this is to host these type of poetry potlucks and encourage like a 2-hour conversation, with a limited group of people. That the group size is always small enough that the entire group is involved in the conversation. You don't break into two different groups, and we meet in person. I think that's kind of the recipe. I noticed that someone has started a new app or program, whatever it is. What's it called? I don't know. I see it on Facebook. They're advertising it, and basically what they're promoting are dinner outings. It's like you have dinner with 5 strangers. It's kind of my thing. And I've also read some reviews saying that it doesn't always work. Because the ratios don't always make sense. Like it could be one girl shows up with 5 dudes. That's not really a good mix, right? Doesn't always feel safe that way. Doesn't always feel, yeah. So it's kind of like that could be better. Yeah.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
And it would totally, what if those 5 people, like, I think another review I read said it pretty much the people that they encountered were people like them who were brand new to the city. And so if your goal was to meet someone who was familiar with the city and could show you around,
I could use
that didn't really work. Or that they were also kind of, you were looking to the app to kind of solve their social life, but they really didn't have anything to offer. Like their conversations were not actually that great. So yeah, it totally depends on who's involved. So yeah, talking to my roommate about this, about why tonight's poetry potluck went okay,
This'll come
but
handy.
it was probably not as good as past ones that definitely wasn't as good as past ones I've done. Which isn't to say it was terrible, it was just not as good. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that so one person came with their partner, so they already knew that person. And then there was my roommate and I, and we've known each other for a while. So, for a few months now. So then, yeah, that means that it's really 2 pairs of people asking questions instead of 4 individuals asking questions. Right? So. So there's less, like the dynamics don't work as well. So I think that was something I hadn't really considered, but now in hindsight I see like, so this is why it was absolutely vital that we have someone else show up, and we didn't. We had too many cancellations. So it was okay, but it was definitely not the best one. You occasionally check out neighborhood music sing-alongs in the park. Interesting. Conversations are hard because there's too much music. Oh, music is played. Oh, and then people converse when there's no singing to play. Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't really... Like, I've thought about putting more into my schedule to go to literary events. Goes from silence to what are we going to play yet? Yeah, so like, again, so this lack of imagination and conversation, right? Like, the occasion is the only thing that offers some inspiration, and that burns out quickly if it's just a repetitive thing. Like, oh, I wonder what we're going to play next.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
I hate to say it, but I don't think we're going to find a bedroll or a hammer here, and we're going to have to keep moving on to Mystery Lane. That sucks. Bedroll would have been beautiful. I don't know where we're supposed to find it. We've like been all over the place. We got it up here.
I can't feel my feet.
All these people left their shoes behind. So I don't know. Living my ghost life. Tell my roommate that they have to have a social life for the both of us.
Too cold to think.
I did get an interesting email from someone. I'm not certain how to read. Well, it is. So, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I had this. My roommate situation is kind of a weird situation. Well, not weird. It's just it was an unexpected situation. When I was hunting for apartments earlier in the summer, I had reached out on the graduate student forums, looking, seeing if there were anyone else that I could contact, and possibly be a roommate for her. And I ended up being reached out to by someone who was doing the physics. It's totally not reachable. I can't get to that. I think they were doing physics, and so I thought, oh, it seems like a cool person. And then I realized I'd actually been in contact earlier on, like at the beginning of last year or last term. Okay, but when I was moving out here and thinking about starting up a D&D group, and they'd actually expressed interest. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. So I contacted him and I said, like, I think we actually talked earlier when we were thinking about D&D. he ended up not joining the D&D group. I started a different D&D group.
One little fire.
But anyways, yeah, so it was like, okay, let's work together and see if we can find a place. So that's what the original plan was. And and then like about a month into it, he said, I got contacted by someone else who's interested in looking. Would it be okay if the three of us look together? And I said, I think three bedroom places are going to be harder to find, but I'm not against it. And he said, okay, she's coming from Europe. I was like, okay. It's like, but is also doing a PhD. And so it's like, okay. So, well, I mean, if she's okay with it, we can find a place. I figured, they'll work out fine. We should have enough space. In a 3-bedroom place, we might be able to find a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, right? And then about in the last month, when we were like finalizing our search and we're like narrowing it down and like looking at places, and I ended up talking to the other roommate from Europe, and everything was going well, and then the guy, the physics guy, backs out last minute, unexpectedly. Says, well, you know how I mentioned at the very beginning that there was a possibility that I might take a place with one of my friends? He says, yeah, so that's what happened. And so then we ended up having to rapidly pivot to like looking for a 2-bedroom place. And I had this conversation with the other person. I said, okay, this is now a weirder situation because it's just the two of us, and so I asked if she was okay with it, because at this point I was just thinking, trying to find someone else to hunt for an apartment with that I already vetted, like trying to find someone else who, at least personality-wise, I'm getting along with, would be really, really hard at this point. And then financially, like sort of this person I knew was coming in with funding, so I was like, okay, they're going to be solid. So yeah, so that's how I ended up with the female roommate. So we have a 2-bedroom place, and we have this great, convenient location to getting around. But yeah, I'm like twice her age, so, which I think is actually what makes it feel more like a safe environment. It's like I'm kind of like a surrogate uncle, I guess, sometimes. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, again, it's like, I told her actually right up front, I said, like, even before she got here, I said, like, look, I'm twice her age, or you want to move in, like, setting aside everything else, like, is that okay with you? And she thought I was joking. She said, she said that her dad's actually older than me, so that's okay. But she said that she thought I was joking, and it wasn't until like 2 months after she arrived here that she actually realized I wasn't joking. Yeah. But it works out really well, because I feel like we end up having, we have a lot of great conversations, and we've got no pressure on us. Yeah. And like we were joking about this earlier today, that we really just need to put a sign on one of the walls in the apartment, because we keep saying this. It's like, this is a judgment-free zone. It's like, have a bad day, want to vent about something, you can't figure out, you made some really bad fashion choices this morning, and then got home and realized how like fully out of control your look was. Yeah, no judgment. We're okay. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what it is, right? It's like, so I feel like the uncle who happens to look like I could pass for like a postdoc. Yeah. But yeah, she was convinced I was like 32. I was like, nope. I didn't play that game with my guest tonight. But I think if they were listening closely enough, they would have realized that, like, I finished my PhD in 2015, which was the same year that one of our guests had what was it? No, we were talking about pandemic. I was talking about the pandemic, and they were an undergraduate during the pandemic. And I'd already finished my PhD and was back in Canada. No, I'm like, so far it's been able to stay that way. And I've been consistently, slowly, but consistently losing weight over the last couple months. So, I'm down about 18 pounds, I think, at this point. But more importantly, I'm like, I'm starting to fit clothes a little bit better. But I haven't gone down a whole size yet. No, I tried to go shopping earlier today. Every time I try to go shopping for clothes, it's always an abysmal fail. At least for what I want to find, right? Which is I want to find a little bit more variety in shirts. Especially button-up shirts. But the problem is that men's fashion
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
All the stores carry only slim fit. Like, why do they believe that everyone is slim fit? That's just completely irrational. I think it's because the slim fit, slim cut looks good on the models that they have. And therefore, that's what they produce. And they're not really thinking about the market. But then again, I guess Vancouver is kind of a very athletically fit space to be in. Oh, the other thing is, like, I can't really dress my age either. like, none of that seems to fit me right, or look right. So.
Well, this stuff will come in handy.
Big and tall. You know what I need, though? See, everything is compounded by the fact that I have a long torso. And not super short, but shorter legs. So that basically means that if I were to do things... I have broad shoulders. It means what I really need is a personal tailor. Which I cannot afford. I can't. But I would need a style consultant and a personal tailor. Someone to actually make clothes that are designed to look good on me. I tried to study up on how to do that myself in terms of like, well, what styles, what patterns, what colors should I wear? But it's hard to do that if they just don't make them in the right cut.
I think I can use this.
Okay. Okay, Jersey time. Ooh, we're still without coats. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've tried looking at big and tall stores, but I'm not big enough and not tall enough to really qualify. But I'm too big. Okay, so I tried thrift stores. Thrift stores In Vancouver area, a lot of the thrift stores tend to carry clothes that come from older but thinner people, or come from Asian immigrants, which are then all sized for a very different, like their extra large is not really an extra large here. So it just does not, it's not working. So the next step would be to go to, in Canada there's a chain called Moore's, which basically does men's suits and fashion. They are not cheap, but they're also not stupidly expensive. It wouldn't be like hiring a tailor, but they do sell a lot of suit separates. So like you can get the blazer, you can get the suit jacket and the pants. And they'll have a wider range available so that they can accommodate people who have, whose frames are not the usual frames.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Okay. What are we doing here? What do we got? We got food. Got dog food. We got our... Okay, so I think we got food enough. If it was tailored. So these days, if in Canada, if I want to buy a... So I've been ordering a couple shirts. So I've been experimenting, ordering a couple shirts from from Amazon. Did my research, tried to find something that was in a classic or regular cut, in the right size. I bought one, tested it out, kind of liked the fit, ordered a second one. But I'm still not super happy with them. They're just better than what I can find locally. Short of spending even more money. So I think like the average cost then for a button-up shirt here in Canada, a reasonable price would be around $35. That's cheap. And then
This
if
pack
I
is getting
want
too heavy to carry.
like a really high quality, like if I go to Moore's, right, like so suit and business professional fashion store, the shirts will probably run me about 70 to 90 bucks. They will be very good, but they will also be pricier. If I were to go in the States, I used to be able to find like shirts at a more reasonable price in a lot of department stores, but I don't see a lot of those anymore. And they definitely don't sell like a regular or classic cut anymore. Everything is slim. Everything is modern fit or slim fit. And it's just like you have to be practically anorexic to fit into those things. It just doesn't work. Even if I lost all the weight, I would still... It took a long time for me. The last time I was down that much weight, I eventually got to like a 16.5 neck, and I could wear a large. That's like as fit as I've ever been. And at that point, I could finally wear like a slim fit shirt. But right now I'm at 17.5 neck and extra large, generally. And I can't wear a slim fit shirt because I've got too much of a gut still. But the problem is like the chest area, the upper body above the gut is actually, I've lost enough weight that I'm getting closer to the large frame. So now there's this disconnect between like the extra weight I'm carrying below versus, how fit I'm becoming at the top. So like, it's frustrating. And I tend to lose like the belly fat the last. So it's frustrating, But yeah, so a reasonable price, I think, if I were to get it tailored, I would probably, if it was customized, yeah, you're probably going to spend to have it professionally done. Let's say you spend $40 on the shirt, and then you probably end up spending another $15 on tailoring if you wanted to get it refitted. So like you could go get a classic cut or a regular cut, which is a little boxier. Too boxy is also a problem, right? So you want it to be recut to be a better fit. So yeah. So I've thought about that. Should I just start? I went to the thrift store today partly because I was thinking maybe I should just start buying stuff that's oversized, like that fits in the shoulders, but is baggy, and then see if I can find like a dry cleaner with a tailoring service and have them do the alterations. Yeah, and then exactly that. Now I feel like, trying to find the right people to do this is a challenge. Like new city, don't know who to ask. Not certain where the closest place is. I've actually got to do some repairs on my suit itself. Need to take care of that soon. And I'll probably end up buying a new suit next year. But I don't want to rush into it because I don't want to like have it altered and then like 3 months later have to alter it again. Okay, go up here. Okay, I stayed up much longer than I thought I was going to make it tonight. Oh well. Okay, eat the dog food. But I did find a few things today when I was at Winners. My roommate was saying, instead of going with something specific that you're hoping to find there, which she says almost never works, because you're almost guaranteed never to find what you're looking for. Try going without a specific plan and just be open to whatever you find. And so I tried that, and I was thinking initially that I was going to find shirts, but I tried, and there was like only one or two shirts that fit, and neither of them I felt really I was sold to. I was like, I don't know, I really can't see myself with either of these. And so I put them back, and then I started to just kind of generally browse around to look at what else was there. And then I came across like a coat, and I thought, you know what, I actually do need something that's more of a medium weight between like the thinner rain resistant coat that jacket that I have, and the heavier winter coats that I don't have any of my super heavy winter coats, but like something that's a little bit more suitable, in the mid-range, that is flexible enough to be something casual as well as something a little bit more formal, and has like a nice color to it. So I found like a really lovely kind of dark navy, well, not super dark, but slightly darker than, let's say, a royal blue, pushing navy almost. And it looked really good, and the quality was really good. I also looked at a denim jacket, and I looked at it, and I loved the color, and then I looked closely, and I just saw that there were problems with the stitching. And the stitching was on the front of the jacket, and you could just see like it was just a lot of like blemishes in the stitching where, the thread had broken, they started over and restitched it, and then started over again. So it just looked messy. Like it didn't look like quality. It looked like a factory reject that had ended up in the store. And so it was like, you know what? I like the color, but I'm not going to buy this. So I bought the coat instead. And then I found a pair of pants that I thought, I like the color on this. I don't have anything in this particular gray for slacks, and I think I'll do that. And it would pair well with a white shirt and then something else. And so, yeah, so that's what I ended up doing. So yeah, I was surprised to find something that I wasn't looking for. It did cost me a little bit more money than I expected, but student loan money, right? It's like I'm saving money in one place and spending in another place. But yeah, okay, we should probably wrap up here soon. Okay, somehow we found enough food. Okay. Okay, we don't need this one anymore. I think we should harvest. I don't know. Is this a smart idea? What do we have? Do we have any leather? We don't have any leather. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up here shortly too. I've got to get some sleep. And then I've got to spend some time tomorrow working on something before I go in for church. But yeah, do take care. Thanks for hanging out. They have been unhinged as late. Oh no. Are you liking all the new hymns? Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, we used up the last of our sewing kit. We don't need all these. Okay, we got most of the way through. Okay. How much cloth do we have? We're down to 11. Okay. Okay, that's kind of wild. Okay, so yeah, so let's see how we're doing here. We're on day 10. And we're going to wrap up here. So we got a full 5 days in, but we're no closer to our goal of finding hammer or bedroll. So I think we're going to have to leave. Yeah, we need to find food. Yeah, we do. Okay, so yep. Long way to go. Well, there's our save. Okay, let's figure out. Oh, let's read one poem, and then we'll be out of here. So I was thinking about something I could read that I haven't read. And I'd pull something out. I was like thinking about like, what should I do with these poems that I wrote like a long time ago, which I don't know about sending them out because they feel so different from what I do now. But in a weird way, they're still like good, right? So I think like maybe some of these will end up in a selected poems, like a collected selected poems volume at some point. Even though they're like somewhere between juvenilia and, I won't call them completely juvenilia, but they're just like their earlier work that somehow I think still works. But I don't know if I would necessarily choose them for a current book. Like one example is this one. Speaking of like old, feeling old. I wrote this when I was 27. Yeah. So like I said, every few years I'll go through this cycle, and this is definitely in 27. And this is way, way, way before I ever figured out anything about being, ace. So this is like, I don't know. 27. That's the title of the poem. At 27, I begin to grow old, longing for a voice to place in my ear, to carry me forward, to enfold me in silence, to open a stone with a song. For the wife I do not know, whose name and face elude me, not even dreams tell the shape of her hands, the press of her lips, the lines and spaces in her skin, the door of her mind, worn thin with my peering, my eyes still searching. For the son not yet born, whose fiery birth awaits a future moment, formed in silence, in caustic shape by flame, wings heavy with wishes, he sleeps in distant oceans, in far-off seas. For the daughter not here or there, but strangely absent, waiting, small, a memory in blood, a precognition, a thought, a name forming on the tip of a tongue in the mind of a woman. For the grave, open and close, the coffin of wood, the earth worms moving, the dark bellies of stones heavy with faces, the slow movement of grass in the wind blowing past my ear. At 27, I have begun to grow old. Like I sound like I'm like 80 in that poem. Like, what is up with that? Hey, welcome in. I don't know. I think I was definitely working as a programmer. Yeah, this is during my programmer years. And so if you're brand new, Mr. Brady, you're joining me at the end of the stream where I read a poem and I talk about a little bit of its context. And so this time I read something from way, 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 way back, because I'm an old timer, in 2001. So this was shortly after my birthday in 2001. It was in April. So I was working as a computer games programmer in Los Angeles. I was working probably a fair bit of overtime. 2001. I was 1 year into my job. It had not gotten crazy yet, but I think at this point we had already moved. We had just moved to our new location. And I think I was just feeling like time was moving, and there were things in my life that, I don't know, it just felt like age creeping upon me. I was probably reading a lot of Dylan Thomas too. So, and I think there was something of that in there too. But I was kind of in a weird space. When I look over the poems in this, it's a little chapbook. Oops, I didn't even go to the here was this little chapbook that I put together back then called No Matter Death. See how morbid I was. And No Matter Death. And that was the title poem, or not the title poem, the opening. Look at how ominous that is. It says, like, for those who leave us. This is in the sort of the front matter for the chapbook. I have, for those who leave us midway through life. Did I lose someone during that time period? I don't know. It's like, it must have been. Interesting. I don't know. Yeah, it's strange. So maybe there had been a death that had made me feel like, I can't remember who that would have been. But yeah, something must have happened. And anyways, I was feeling very much my own mortality and feeling very much sort of the passage of time, I think, with that one. But yeah, like the other poems in this little chapbook that I put together, I was working long days, and then in the evenings, if I could, I would make it out to an open mic for poetry, and I was reading there. And I'd been around long enough, like a year in, that I was starting to like take my poems that I'd been writing and combine them into chapbooks. So yeah, 2001. Weird. 1 year into Los Angeles. No, I was feeling old. But I mean, I really do like, in a very different way, I like the poems in this collection, this little chapbook. Because there's a type of like a stripped down sincerity to the poems that I think sometimes, like later projects I've undertaken, the poems have gotten more complicated and denser, and I feel like the poems from this time period had a greater clarity to them. And so there's a part of me that wants to rescue them, not necessarily to edit them and change them, but to figure out how to pull them into a collection or pull them into publication, the world of publication, because I feel like I shouldn't abandon them. I left them behind because I thought that was a time period from a while ago. I don't know if I can go back to that. But now enough time has passed, and I think, they do stand on their own. They're different from what I write now, but they're still somehow something that I'm proud of. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no worries, Mr. Brady. I mean, it's these are archived on YouTube as well, so you can always go back and watch the past streams. And tonight was kind of, I'll be honest, a little bit uneventful. We traveled from Desolation Point, actually from where were we? Yeah, we went from Crumbling Highway through Coastal Highway and looted a lot of Coastal Highway in hopes of finding a bedroll or a hammer, and we failed. We did not find them anywhere, which suggests most likely that we will have to travel all the way to Mystery Lake, and that is not fun without a bedroll. So we will have to rush like crazy through I think we'll probably have to go through Winding River and kind of dash through Winding River to get to the dam. And then we have to travel through the entire dam to find ourselves a bed. Actually, there is no bed in the dam. We'd have to travel all the way through the dam to get to the trailer on the outside of the dam before we find a bed. So, yeah. But, yeah. And again, Rena, I am preserving them. I am just trying to think about how better to archive them. or to, you know, if some of them can be published, maybe I should try again to see if they have a home out there. Or should I look at them as like preserve them as part of a selected poems project? I feel like it's weird to start a selected poems project when I really just have the 2 books, and I feel like most people wait until they have 4 books before they do it selected or collected. Then again, I have no idea how I'd do it collected either, because I really just like the construction of most of the, I feel like most of the books I've done, both books, I'm pretty happy with how they ended up working. And they kind of hold together well. Oh, but we'll see. Anyways, we should go find someone to raid. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you for choosing Babbage Nader. Spend your evening with. Oops, that's not what we want. We want Twitch. And we want. Okay, so who do we have up right now? We have Deadpool. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I think we'll try to visit Deadpool. Okay. Okay, take care. Thanks for being here. Okay, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to wrap up. I will try to be back on tomorrow night. I'll probably be on at some point on Monday as well. We'll see. Okay. See you all soon.